Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacaster. Me, host Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero Strike, Defender of the Fatherland. Off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on Semoisky Winter. Between the north, we got Vonasten fighting here for the Soviet Union, the Socialism. The 10th Tank Corps versus in the south, we got Luvnest fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Rolling out here with the Großdeutschland Panzerdivision. So we got there an MD-42 double pioneer start for Luvnest, could indicate here tier 2 rush from Luvnest versus Vonasten with a double country start. Doctrine looking at spearhead, blitzkrieg, and mobile defense versus armored assault guard rifle and cert reserve army. So let's see what's going on. It's clearly focusing on the southern fuel point here, which in some ways is a bit more risky. Concentrating down here, concentrating on engineers moving westwards here, so a bit more spread out. Heading the point there slowly, and now no. So he's going to go for some armor or infantry after this, but instead he's going to use the pioneer sort of quickly rush to the more vital points. In this case, the fuel point. Constantly making sure his opponent doesn't get to it first, using the machine gun then to connect the territory. I would have figured maybe just rush the machine gun ahead, then leave someone else to sort of back cap all the other territory. But Luvnest here seems to be going for a slightly more risky version of this. Grenadiers following up there for Luvnest and the Großdeutschland. Third country squad all the way there for Vonasten, noting both they got infantry mortar versus infantry machine gun and sniper bullets here for Vonasten. Third country squad almost down there for Vonasten. Grab the fuel point here with a few more riflemen of the Soviet Union. Pioneers can remain here. And forcing about there, he's just quickly sort of popping in and out there just to quickly get a peek. Got sandbags going up in the cuff point as well here for Luvnest. MG-42 sending out, grenades moving out there for Luvnest. Grabbing here more sandbags down on the calf point there. Northern fuel point secured here by Vonasten. Sandbags down this will help cover the centre for Vonasten. So both players certainly thinking ahead here several steps for future engagements, trying to minimise about what their opponents can do to them. But while being laid down as well to make it harder for Vonasten to remotely use the cover against Luvnest at any point in time. And there you go, first engagement here. 2 minutes into the game, by 2 minutes into the game, and that's where the first shot beginning being fired here. MG-42 that should be able to come up here. Vonasten does not even remotely try to do it here. In fact, just pulls back the counter immediately. That is, I think, a very good sort of sense of just choosing engagements. The second on this one there for Luvnest. Sandbags going down the centre. It's got sandbags here, carrying the sandbag position. They're sending some preparations here for an in-depth defence by Vonasten. Eastern victory point secured here. Pioneer, small sandbags going down here. Now the player is rushing into it versus the other one so far. They are both sort of dancing about here. Not looking sort of set off an engagement where they don't feel like they have the upper hand, and so far neither player is particularly feeling that. Like Luvnest sort of slowly disengaging, even if at one point Vonasten sort of has the sort of advantage he doesn't have it. So instead of trying to fight out in some way, Luvnest just immediately pulls back to safer ground, but he has sort of has better chance there. So very cautious stuff. You can see now Luvnest is getting more confident. He's got the signal, he's got arrives now, makes the push here for the centre village point here with constantly in the church. The can't cover so well here, so that gives us more chance to push against other infantry squads nearby. That we can see now Vonasten is moving up more infantry. Well, Luvnest trying to stick out an MD-42 to maybe sort of get behind here and sort of get a jump on Vonasten. He's just going to hold it back here, leaving the grenades to fight. There you go, constantly popping out here. That could threaten here Luvnest to maybe fall back or reconsider this move here, but no, he keeps fighting. Even though I would say the engagement has definitely turned unfavourable for Luvnest, he decides to stick it out. In this case, the Pioneers, they're rushing in. Forces back the conscript. We got a mortar out here, which could be the reason to stick about. They want to sort of pin down as many conscripts for the mortar. But at this point, it's not looking good for Luvnest. This is an engagement that is not remotely favouring him. The Pioneers also get flushed out with the flamethrowers. So right here, Luvnest, I think, had an opportunity to maybe push against Vonasten, but rather he lost it. I think had he tried to move the machine gun up with some Pioneer support, flank up, he occupied the house and then set up behind Vonasten's forces or something like that, or just set up the machine gun here. He probably could have done something there versus Vonasten, but instead I think he did it a bit too much. I mean, there's still the mortar, there's still the flamethrower Pioneers, but there's just so much infantry, it's going to be difficult to have any sort of serious impact now. But I mean, it could be, Vonasten just to start to stick it around doing a mortar barrage. I mean, that's not impossible. Also, a lot of brave points. Here we got double grenadiers, double Pioneers, double MG-42s with a mortar for Luvnest. An interesting build order there, by the way. An interesting build order. Now, I have seen, I think, from a few other players, and I think it's mostly Luvnest actually been going for it so far there. But it's certainly one that's sort of much more mixed and sort of composition. Not too much infantry, though still some Pioneers to help carry the slack, and a mix of support ones as well, but nothing heavy there either. So I suppose you could just call it sort of the more balanced opening. Sort of able of playing aggressively and defensively as necessary. Mortify continues to rain down there. MD42 now moving ahead here. Luvnest feels confident. He's sort of got an idea there of where Vonasten falls their position. Just moving up the machine gun out to provide support, knowing he doesn't feel worried, at least feeling not worried. He doesn't know, but there's nothing there, so that's his assumption here. Versus Vonasten seems to be working out here. Though the grenadiers have been forced back by the engineer conscript, we can see they're also retreating, as they now risk being wiped out on retreat if he does not do so now. Conscript falling back, he's going to try and see a stall. Luvnest from just grabbing too much territory easily in this village centre and pushing through. Willing to risk that. Of course, there's the mortar which could punish that a tad. Take up there for Luvnest, grenadiers reinforcing. Could have one maybe lay down a bunker there. Conscript shifting positions as the mortar rounds are falling. Uncomfortably close there for Vonasten with an engineer squad on the way here. So that was some, I would say, rather intense action in the centre already here of the village, and just within the 6-minute mark here. Big push here by Luvnest. In the end, looked a bit rougher in the beginning, but the mortar and the addition of machine guns finally sort of allowed to push back. Mines is spotted though by Vonasten, is paying attention to the retreating unit, but even then he could forget it. And all players do have, you know, that amazing memory, and sometimes they'll forget details like, you know, there's a telemine around here there specifically, though of course he might remember there's a mine somewhere in this area, so we'll see what happens. Either way though, this telemine could prove beneficial there for Luvnest, one way or the other. Constant being held here by the MD42 as Luvnest was very quick to reposition the machine gun as well. Good work here. He might actually want to consider moving up the machine gun here towards the village corner or the house here, since the church of course has a sort of strong all around, but this one sort of covers better versus the north, which is what he kind of wants more to do, and makes it harder for Vonasten to even enter the village and thusly use these houses against Luvnest. But at least he's wiring off the sandbags here, but I do, yeah, there we go. Shifting up machine gun to a more forward position. Good job there. Securing the fuel point as well, laying down sandbags. Good stuff, good stuff. Nice tactical advance here by Luvnest. That's a Großdeutschland Panzerdivision, which would later be expanded into a full Panzer Corps, having previously been a Panzer division. Actually, the Großdeutschland saw a lot of expansion throughout the war, but which actually had also the Brandenburger Panzergrenadier Division as a part of the Panzer Corps. Fun fact. Which was happened after the Brandenburgers stopped being in special operations. It actually was made into a Panzergrenadier unit specifically. Also a fun note. Vonasten was taken up here with the tank battalion command here. Luvnest just continuing to push ahead, just secure and grab territory here. Machine gun of course also now able to cover for a bit of the village, the lakes over the north. He could consider shifting the machine gun towards here, shifting the machine gun towards here, but he's clearly, I think, not too interested in holding up this viewpoint. Of course, the more he can deny it to Vonasten, of course, the more better. But he's probably just going to focus sort of more around this axis. Back here, bunker up, reinforcement, healing. No like to make a nice company. I mean, there's a theory here that Luvnest could try and push for tier 3, though that would be highly risky considering Vonasten has had plenty of resources to push ahead for a light tank, and in fact he's within the realm of being able to do so right now. But looks like Vonasten forgot about the mine, or he's confident he can remember where it is, because he's actually got no minesweepers. He's got no minesweepers. Also note, very importantly, what Vonasten is doing, he's playing Semoisky, of course, in the clever manner. This is not just focusing through here, which is what a lot of players will do. Usually the more mediocre players, they just try and barge through here. This is kind of why Semoisky's gotten such a bad reputation, because they only focus in, unsurprisingly, get slaughtered, while they never consider here. But might notice, Vonasten's actually moving about here through the sort of the west side as well, which is actually quite important if you start north. But also, he's even sneaking about east side, and he's not doing a linear man. He's in fact moving right behind to hit the carve point. So this is some really good play there by Vonasten. Very good tactical footwork against Luvnest. Sterling stuff. T-70 out there with a mortar as well here to make it harder for Luvnest to dig inside the village proper. Machine guns being slightly repositioned and forced away here by Vonasten again. It's pretty much hitting all of the carve points now. The vital ones cutting off Luvnest from almost all his resources in one tactical swoop there. Good work. We got here 2-2 out here of Luvnest, going to help us sort of control the map a bit, you know. Give him some mobility, of course. He's going to need at least another one to really have a serious chance against the T-70 unless that hits the telemine here. Engineers here laying down mines. He can even hide them down around here in the farmhouse to the south, so when Luvnest goes down there, gets back the fuel point, he can always just pop back. But right now, Vonasten's forgot about the unit. I think he said he was planning on doing this, but now he's getting spotted here, and the two is going to help flush away the engineers. Up north, though, machine gun grenadiers are trying to fight out. He's trying to hold the point for as long as possible, though without any sort of serious anti-tank support. It is a rather dubious task here that Luvnest has given to these men here up north. In the centre, though, we got a mortar engagement going between the two gunners. It's a conscript with a negative cover. There's the conscript's heavy. Mortar there should barrage the enemy mortar, else it's going to have, I think, a solid chance here. Engineers push back. To the two rolling up to provide support. Machine gun funding pushed back, but there's a high look looking wiped. T-70, oh! Almost got the machine gun. 2-2 moving in. Conscripts moving in as well. And who's going to make a run there for the machine gun, stealing it round to Luvnest? No, it's good work. They're punishing Luvnest for lingering with that machine gun too long against the T-70, which is more than capable of pursuing the retreating. Oh, he gets the T-70 of the Telemine. Vonasten had completely forgotten about it, getting a wipe on the T-70. That's actually a big tactical win there for Luvnest, as it means Vonasten's ability to constrain Luvnest on the field just plummeted. Plus, I mean, the T-70 got the machine gun, which is good, but it's not quite enough to make up for the loss of the T-70. So this is definitely good for Luvnest, who's still got his 2-2-2. This is big. This could be a problem there for Vonasten. Of course, he's still got a machine gun. He's filling up with a Maxim. He's also mining here the cover out Luvnest. He didn't bite it off. Like, he's apparently just making sure those sandbags do not get used. These sandbags are fascist sandbags. Anyone is forbidden to use them if they're fascist. But what about us? Don't worry. Your socialism shall overcome fascism. Yes. Got a mortar firing from Vonasten. Machine gun there in a slightly exposed position. Though tactically not bad. And in this case, he's bombarding the house. He's not anticipating the machine gun to be there. Very good. Mines was up for Luvnest. Compared to the Vonasten, it's not anticipating mines. Luvnest is taking absolutely no bloody chances with his opponent. Good work there. Got the 2-2 rolling around here, shattering the fences of socialism. Or something like that. Catching the mortar ground next to go. That's a pretty bad spot to be caught here by the 2-2 with its coaxial machine gun and autocannon is tearing through them. And the center again assault to get grenades for light machine gun off against engineers, and the conscripts mortar fire there, shattering the Russian infantry. And the pioneers being pushed back by the Maxim. Up north there, we got to push for the fuel point again, but this time, of course, there's mines. Minen. But it does clear out the barbed wire, though at a rather steep cost. Engineers there being murdered by the 2-2 if they're not moved. Machine gun there coming through the center here. More to the ship able to deal with it. They've got to meet the barrage up north. Something's happening on the ice. And we got the conscript up in the 2-2 with an anti-tank grenade. Good work there by Vonasten, punishing Luvnest, who's going for a second mortar. He has to take doubly shit to go anything for it. And we got the carve point being hit again by Vonasten. This one's obviously not quite as critical as this one, but still, it is certainly a consistent effort there by Vonasten, and certainly also just put some more pressure on Luvnest. A good work here. Pioneers almost been knocked out here by the MG42. Lingered for too long and got wiped. Certainly a few cases of that here for Luvnest, where he just sort of overstays his chances and just, suffers a wipe. I mean, it's a bit of a risky move, and of course it pays off great, but if it doesn't, well, this time he's lost now 2 units to it. And in this one case, handed a machine gun to Vonasten, which then proceed to wipe the other unit. So at this rate, it's going to really snowball out of control for Luvnest. How did pick losing one MG42 as the enemy results in him getting a Tiger tank, Herr Oberleutnant Luvnest? I don't know, it just happened. Are you by any chance descended from Italians? Maybe? Anyways, car point there being secured still. And he's even wide off this spot, I think. That's Vonasten, so like, there's only a sliver back of the sandbags that can actually be utilised by now. Grenadiers pushing there for the centre. Machine gun there about to get flanked by the conscripts if they're not careful up north here. Troops reinforcing healing. Still no support corps here for Luvnest, and no armoured tier 4 tech there. I mean, that would be certainly be rather overconfident considering the circumstances. And then again, he did take out the T-70. In theory, he could kind of get away with it. He's almost getting the mortar. He's got 2 mortars now barraging, I imagine, its positions, trying to take it out. Grenadiers about to be wiped out. And there you go. Certain mortars being wiped out, of course. Vonasten's also brought up another one, so we got 2 mortar batteries on each side. Of course, one has just suffered a staggering tactical loss. So they're clearly both intending dueling it out with artillery back here. Still nothing going for Luvnest's base. In Vonasten's base, there's no attempt to take up either, and neither side here at the 40-minute mark has considered a doctoral choice. And with this rate, I think Luvnest's going to end up going for spear and just calling it a tiger. I mean, it just seems like, the more natural. I mean, could go for mobile defense, I suppose, or blitzkrieg. There's just nothing there. 2-2 gets hit with an anti-tank grenade. Damage engine again. Hitting the eastern points here for Großdeutschland. For Großdeutschland and Germany. Großdeutschland by meaning Greater Germany. It's also by the division at its name because, unlike most German divisions which recruited from a specific part of Germany, a city or district, the Großdeutschland recruited from all across Germany, which rather made it unique. Still nothing on the base of Luvnest. Nor in Vonasten's base. He's certainly not calling in any more light vehicles. Good flank here on the mortar machine gun position. They've got the MB-42 positioning to deal with that threat. 2-2 awaiting repairs.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
We can see here that Vonasten's recruit his mortar with a few engineers. Machine gun there getting hammered by Russian mortar fire. North here push for the victory points up north. Victory points right actually pretty close to each other. 2-2 almost good to go there for Luvnest. Maximuming up here. We got conscripts inside the house here. They got mortar fire trying to take out Vonasten's mortars. So far another mortar. Oh, there we go. Wipe the mortar again. German mortar crews well been noted for their experience and skill. That's a fun side note. News pushing forward the flamethrower machine gun. They're not able to focus on it, getting focused on the flamethrower use it. We've got a rifle grenade here from the machine gun, or the light machine gun gunners there to push that back. Luvnest, still nothing happening. He's actually throwing a bit of resources now. I mean, honestly, could have pushed out for a Panther 4 by now, at least a minute or two ago, and certainly put some more pressure on Vonasten. So I'm not entirely sure what Luvnest is playing. He's playing for tier 4. I mean, even then, you could have had that up by now, and then, you know, sometime in the near future, then build a Panther. So it doesn't have necessarily say feel like the most efficient seriously choice here of Luvnest at the moment. Of course, it might just be part of just how much Vonasten is pressuring him that is preventing him from just doing that easily. But so much mortified, just raining across the village centre here. Mortar recruit for the second time. Fuel points being grabbed back and forth between the two sides. 2-2 just acting as a rear guard as Luvnest pulls out of the village proper. Down to 2 infantry squads at this stage is a bit lacking there. He could benefit from some panthers to put at least some more infantry pressure there since Vonasten does have 4. Now there's a bit of the issue with this kind of build long term. You do lack at least 1 infantry squad. As I'd always say, 3 infantry squads is generally the bare minimum you want to be working with. 2 I would always say is too little. 4 is sort of a solid move, and 5 is pushing it, but you know, can work. So that's sort of the safety guarding is, you know, from 3 to 5. 4 sort of being, you know, good, solid. 3 the bare minimum, and 5 sort of, you know, you're pushing it, but you know, you can certainly do something with it. 6 and just 2, those are right out. S-Mart's going down in the fuel point. More pioneers for Luvnest, as he's already lost 1 squad again. Certainly a high turnover rate amongst his pioneers. Field gun for Vonasten. He's gone for armoured assault, so we got the first doctoral choice there. Might be planning an IS-2. Though of course there's also the option of T-45s. But Luvnest is aiming here for the Panther. The Panzerkampfwagen 5, and he's just lost his second pioneer squad as well. I mean, he'll probably open up for more infantry just to keep throwing away all of his pioneers. So much more to fire there. We got the troops engaged in the machine gun. We're getting hit by anti-tank grenades. Looking a bit rough there. Might just be the end for it. Both pioneer squads ready. Need to build up the head panzer core. The 2-2 finally went down here. Mortar fire obliterating whatever is trying to grab the point here in the centre. The mortars are beginning to suffer a few losses themselves from Vonasten's mortars. And there we go. Heavy panzer corps. Finally being built by Luvnest. Back at Vonasten's base, there's no sign of anything else, no tech ups, so it certainly would indicate he might be planning there for a IS-2, and Luvnest is going to go for a Panther soon enough. Though again, looking at things, he probably at least add a minute sooner, if not 2. And of course, requires he actually built his right wing. There we go. Oh, he goes for the Sturmpanzer. I mean, there's not a lot of armor up for Vonasten, obviously, but if he goes for the Sturmpanzer, then 1, he actually needs center tank. He's going to be a bit more behind, whereas, you know, just needs one tank. He can still more easily supplement that, I think. But Sturmpanzer it is here for Luvnest. Sturmpanzer it is.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
And certainly the Sturmpanzer will find itself falling rather short of the mark against an IS-2, which Luvnest is not seemingly considering at all. I mean, even against medium armor, the Sturmpanzer is going to be a bit short. Again, he's got no anti-tank, so this is actually a really high-risk move by Luvnest. And again, he's focusing a lot on the support weapons or the infantry, but he is forgetting about the potential of armor in that regard. He's going to eat the Panther as fast as possible, to at least have a chance to get out a second Panther, at which point he might be able to push. He's going to go for a pack forward to sort of cover up here. The mortars there is going to make that not necessarily as a fully expedient choice, as they can theoretically just either get smoked or just hammer it to death by Vonasten's mortars if he's not careful with that pack 40. But of course, the same can extent be said about the SIS-3. It has 6 men, which makes it a bit more likely to survive if it gets, concentrated on. Also note this again apparently has Semoisky applied to the Sturmpanzer 4. Semoisky was an anti-magnetic paste sort of applied to the tanks to provide magnetic monitoring and prevent them from sort of sticking. And not a lot used it, and more importantly, as they found out, it was flammable, so they stopped applying it. Because the tanks catching on fire is pretty bad. For very hopefully obvious reasons. And apparently some historians can actually tell apart who applied the Semoisky, definitely based on the pattern of it. I'm definitely not there yet. But apparently the different manufacturers of tanks would apply them, and apparently they do it in different ways. So, go figure. Engineers moving out with mortars. Pinman machine gun up there as well. Vonasten still some out from the IS-2. But Luvnest would say he's in further away from a Panther. There he goes, shoots, 152mm gun firing. Gets some poor bastard. But the rest survive. He keeps losing pioneers though. Keeps losing pioneers. How many pioneer squads is lost by now? That's 4 pioneer squads. But there you go. Good hit on the mortar crew. SIS-3 opens up, penetrating the 100mm thick armor of the Sturmpanzer 4. Pack 40, not by way order to prioritize vehicles. Gives it away there to Vonasten, now going for the IS-2, and Luvnest is still about roughly 3.5 minutes away from a Panther to stop. And he's only got a Pack 40 here, and he keeps giving his weight position to Vonasten. So that could be a problem here for Luvnest. That could be a big problem if he's not very careful. Because the Sturmpanzer is certainly not going to stop the IS-2, which is rolling out here for Vonasten and the 10th Tank Corps with a 222mm gun. Need to fall back there with the Sturmpanzer. Here we got machine gun being flanked by the Conscript. Looks like Luvnest hasn't realised what's going on there. Lack of infantry, certainly still in the favor. There you go, Pack 40 engaging the IS-2 head-on. Shot bounces. Machine gun retreats and actually gets away. They're a bit lucky, but I don't think the Pack 40 is going to be nearly as lucky here for Luvnest. Oh, he's pulling back the IS-2 and he's getting a bit lucky there. As there's no infantry support for the IS-2 to just quickly clear out of this. Meanwhile, Sturmpanzer up north shatters the church and forces away a Russian machine gun crew, though we got another one setting up here to fire on the Pack 40. But Luvnest having none of that, and there we go, the Sturmpanzer shoots, wipes out 4 men with a single astounding shot. Causing the rest to just run away. Very scared.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
IS-2 rolling hit. Pioneers about to get wiped. They'll soon probably be joining all of the other pioneers that Luvnest has so far lost. Nope. Looks like this time around they got a bit lucky.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Sturmpanzer shoots though. Hits the IS-2. Well, fails to penetrate. Finally, I think IS-2, Sturmpanzer, I mean, why do I keep calling the IS-2? Probably because they act roughly at the same caliber of gun, but the fun thing is, while the IS-2 is known for being able to share the tanks with sheer high explosive force, the Sturmpanzer force shots actually packed more explosives in them, so theoretically they could do more damage if they hit a tank, just for the sheer raw force, that is. So little fun fact there. But anyways, pulling back the IS-2 there for repairs, Sturmpanzer rolling ahead. And we got Blitzkrieg, an interesting choice there by Luvnest. He is closing in on the Panther, and of course he might be planning to use the command tank to support his Panther, making it harder to kill for Vonasten. Again, if a Sturmpanzer were able to fire a shot in such an angle it hit the top of the IS-2, I'm pretty sure it would do some serious damage. Particularly if it hit the engine block like it did there. Pretty sure that would have been pretty vulnerable to such a hit. Rolling back the Sturmpanzer for some repairs, I imagine, or maybe to deal with some troops down there. And the Dagens is going to use the Sturmpanzer to force them out. There you go. Just needs a few more moments in calling the Panther the Panzerkampfwagen 5. I was doing the meanwhile here on the prowl. Pack 40 shoots from the ice itself. There we go. Can't holding up for now, but there you go. Ends up retreating in the face of the Sturmpanzer 4. I was running slightly back here, not keen on duking in out there with the Panzerabwehr on it. Luvnest just needs to reconnect, and there you go, calling the Panther now. Sturmpanzer shoots and misses. That was a good attempt there by Luvnest. No Panther yet though. The sooner he can get, there we go, Panzerkampfwagen 5 for the German army. Die Deutsche Panzerwaffe. Sturmpanzer rolling about here, mortar firing down here in the centre. Double mortars. Good hit, and the Consequence wipes out half the squad. Sturmpanzer immediately running into the Cis-3 and the IS-2. Pop smoke. Pack 40 there could try and use target weak point to cover. Actually, the IS-2 has been fully repaired. And there you go, pops target weak point. Could punish here Vonasten. For some. Oh no, gets almost. The Pack 40 misses. Looks like the IS-2 does survive the encounter here. That was pretty close. Mechanized armor company up, so Vonasten can soon fly up with tanks to support his IS-2. Very good work there. Very good work. Sturmpanzer is going to need critical repairs, and so does the IS-2. But the Panther's almost done there for Luvnest for the German army. Now, if you just go for at least one more infantry squad, I would be pretty satisfied about Luvnest force composition. I still feel like 2 Grenadier squads is cutting a bit close. And there you go. Panther out for Luvnest. Panzerkampfwagen 5. With a rather tattered whitewash applied to it. .25 kills on the Granatenwerfer. Pinmark machine over there as well for the Panther. It would benefit from some Panzer Grenadiers to support the Panther, to be honest. And there you go. Big old infantry halt there from Vonasten to pursue the Pioneers. Victory points wise as well. It's still pretty close between the two, with a small lead there's a Vonasten and the German army, but he's sort of slowly stabilising there with the arrival of the Panther and just the IS-2 being pushed back there. And we got something going on. He's repairing the ND-42. That's actually pretty good. Most players never consider repairing the support ones, but there you go. Pack 40 target weak point and the Pack. Oh, Panthers, well, it could be the loss of the IS-2 here for Vonasten. He did not anticipate this. Oh, Scheisse. He's calling in air support, but that's not going to help against the Panther, but he does pull back the Pack 40 there, giving IS-2 more chance to escape here. Mine hit. Oh, he baited Luvnest into that mine. Good work, giving his IS-2 time to escape. Damn close there for Vonasten, but there you go. Russian infantry moving in. He needs to get the Sturmpanzer in there to support, but the Sturmpanzer is not moving. This again also a bit more infantry will help, and maybe some infantry to support the Panther. Sturmpanzer still not moving. Machine gun moving up here. Mortar can zoom about. They're going to squat. They're grabbing the northern part of the village. You have to get a field gun cleared out, which is probably considered destroying or stealing. IS-2 being prioritized between the new squads. T-35 on the way for Vonasten and the 10th Tank Corps. Sturmpanzer rolling ahead. They have Luvnest. And here conscripts repulsed from the field point by the Panther. Max in there. Oh, machine gun actually. This MD4 almost wiped out. Gets away though. Gets away. And he steals the Cis-3, augmenting his anti-tank defense with more firepower. In fact, the Germans used a lot of them. They would rechamber them to use their own ammunition. Fun fact. Up north, it is being halted by the Maxim there, Vincent T2 for Vonasten. The house still long gone, so he can't use that as a machine gun nest. And the south point there being grabbed. Machine gun rushed away here by an MD-42. T-35 coming up the eastern side, though there's the Panther nearby to repulse it. So far not reacting to it though. Also needs to be careful with the R2 about. He's going to need, I think, another Panther to have a chance against it. I mean, he could still go for the Command Panther, but that might be a bit risky. He's got the Pack 40 supporting though. He's not reacting to this. I'm not entirely sure what Luvnest think. He might try to bait them into the Pack 40 here. I'm guessing that's sort of Luvnest planning to target a weak point. There we go. Almost got the T-35, but he does manage to get behind the house there before it sort of completely loses speed. Of course, there's still the R2 which continues hitting from the Pack 40. And there you go. Eventually, feel this is really bad news for any of Vonasten's tanks. So that means there's a high rate of 5+ high penetration, which even the R2 is going to struggle with. Up north here, the mortar crew being caught by the Sturmpanzer field, which is obliterating it. Mostly. Panther close to veterans 1. IS-2 also there, close. And the T-35 there is close to death. Fuel pump being secured. He's got plenty of stuff there. They still think a third infantry squad would be great for Luvnest. He's actually not going to be able to call in any armour anyway. He can most call in a Panzer. So I think a Panzer Grenadier squad personally would be a strong choice there for Luvnest. But that's just me. Constantly being pushed back here by the Sturmpanzer. And it's 152mm gun. I mean, he could go for the command tank. In fact, he's just about got enough population for that. So we'll see what Luvnest. We can see that Vonasten has realised he can't push here, so now make a big push for the western side. Moving in his tanks, his infantry, support weapons. Very good tactical decision there, I think, by Vonasten. Strategic as well, you know, trying to find where Luvnest is weakest and sort of overwhelm the forces that are scattered there. And sort of try to make as many gains as possible before Luvnest can stop him. In this case, go not quite enough to think speed, but still, he's got the tank there to support, shoots and misses the Sturmpanzer by a small margin. We've got the T-35 moving in. He might try and use this as a diversion just to apply some pressure here. Unit wiped though by a devastating hit there from the Sturmpanzer. That one is definitely being used well here by Luvnest. T-35 taking a direct hit from the Panther, which gains veterans 1 from the process. IS-2, they could do some slight repairs here. Up north, grabbing the victory point here. Sturmpanzer rolling in aggressively. Mortar could probably try and bombard the Grenadiers there before the retreat, but they already have retreated. And he's going for Katyusha to try and soften up some Luvnest defences. That could work. I mean, technically, still has sort of the arm advantage, which is the Panther. The Sturmpanzer, of course, technically counts as what, but it doesn't really fit the other armor. So there you go. Veteran 2 shoots and out of here to Luvnest Sturmpanzer 4. 30 kills for the fatherland so far. That is pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive. Is Luvnest aiming up for another Panther, just sort of slowly giving away units and then just, you know, as soon as he gets it, he just calls it in? I don't know. It's a possibility though. Ergo T-35 moving eastwards, but Luvnest hears it. Immediately sets in with his Panther. Hunting down the T-35 there, Pioneer's being pushed back. T-35 moves across the ice, could it be caught here and sunk? Nope, doesn't. Could have been close there. Loses 1 mortar crew here to enemy mortar fire. This time it's Vonasten's turn to take out more Luvnest mortars, though he could actually go for a Panther now. A second one, giving him a, I would say, rather aggressive arm advantage. Rather aggressive. Then it's again glassed by the S2s up the west side, even as the T-35 is basically, I think, acting as a diversion, like a small sort of pinprick here that's forcing Luvnest to divert a Panther. That makes the bigger push in the west here with infantry in the IS-2. Good work there by Vonasten. I think that was a tactically devious move. If that was the intent, it might not have been, but you know, let's give him the benefit of a doubt. IS-2 there's a Panther. IS-2 penetrates the Panther's front. Some of the Panther misses. We got the Sturmpanzer blasting. We can actually move in the T-35 there to try and deal with the Sturmpanzer. Luvnest continues to float here. They could easily now begin replacing losses. Unit wiped out. Both sides suffering heavy loss. We got air support called in them. It's engine in the two, and there you go. We got the Sturmpanzer. Air support called in the centre. Strafing with infantry in the likes. Another Panther on the way there for... Oh dear, he almost sunk it there. Then again, looks like they can't sink here, I guess. But he's almost got it. There's a Telemine which the chief had found Fear could set off. That might have been a tactical mistake. Oh, shot bounced and didn't do any AoE damage around the Telemine. He pulls back, allowing Luvnest Sturmpanzer to survive, but it's down to one infantry squad now. This could prove potentially advantageous for Vonasten in the longer run as long as he replaces his infantry losses. Panther continues heading against the eyes too, though. Panther very close to Veteran 2. Second Panther's almost halfway done. I think the better choice is just to pull back the Panther and just, pull ahead when he's got two Panthers, rather than risk losing, in any direct arm advantage. Plus, Veteran 2 Panther, which would be, alongside another Panther, very, very advantageous. So we'll see here what Luvnest does, but he definitely needs more infantry. He's got the manpower to do it, so he really should be doing it, and Vonasten really should, I think, consider another Grenadier squad. But I imagine his immediate priority is going to be fixing up all of his tanks, which have seen a lot of damage. And there you go, second Panther for Luvnest and the CoH2 Deutschland. Constantly engaged there with the Panther. They move up and then to tank grenade down the engine here of his Panther as well. Constantly standing about in the centre here. Stuff being repaired. Double mortars. And there you go, second Panther engaging the country squad here. And double mortars hammering away there for Deutschland. Almost wiping out there Vonasten's country squad, but he does pull away. He's going for another field gun, but no more infantry. And similarly, Luvnest is not going. He's just floating a lot of manpower, to be honest. He could also consider bunkers or caches, but definitely think he should be doing something with his manpower while he can do something with it, ensure that, Vonasten has a good chance of pushing back against him. Going towards the center with the Sturmpanzer and the Panther into the eyes too. Shot bounces. Machine gun crew immediately retreats in the face of the Sturmpanzer Fear, which was by the Germans known, if they had to call it anything but the Sturmpanzer Fear, the Stupa. The bomber name is actually something the Allies called it. The Germans referred to it as the Stupa. Eyes 2 bounces again off the Sturmpanzer's armor there. That's quite impressive. In terms of bad luck, that is. More pioneers for Luvnest that repairs armor, but not more infantry. So it's really opening up on the Sturmpanzer, gets the penetrating hit. There you go, penetrating hit from the Sturmpanzer on the Sturmpanzer. Sturmpanzer shoots the field gun. Takes out 1/3 of the crew before pulling back. Halfway 23. 42 kills. They could choose, they could find him. There's not a lot of specific targets. Got the Panther moving up. They're gaining their T2 shirts and added. Sturmpanzer pack 40. Panther moving ahead here. Got an assault here from Luvnest. Again, Vonasten's position. He's slowly falling back. Trying to draw maybe something in to destroy it. Sturmpanzer moves ahead, shoots. Wipes out. I don't know why he wiped. I think it might have been a mortar crew. Yeah, it was a mortar crew that got obliterated alongside the mortar. Good lord. In the east, we got Conscripts of Pioneers fighting it out there. Sturmpanzers, Panthers rolling ahead here. Sturmpanzer firing back. Field gun opening up as well. Penetrating hit. The veteran on the field gun. We got the Panther flanking, tearing apart the crew with its machine guns. This is where getting infantry is helpful for Luvnest. Sturmpanzer finally went down, punishing, I think, Luvnest a bit there for not having sufficient infantry. Kaput! Eyes 2 falling back there with Veterans 2. Panther clearing out the field gun crew there. Second Panther coming up, he'll probably destroy it here. There we go. Infantry behind, but getting shot there by the machine guns turning about there to deal with them as well. Artillery barrage going down there, wiping out Luvnest, pack 40 as well. And there you go, Conscript squad wipe. Now both sides are down to just one infantry squad and a bunch of pioneers and engineers and some support weapons. They also both got at least one tank, Veterans 2. And there you go, Luvnest seizes an opportunity, only sees one. Moves ahead with both Panthers. Pushing away Vonasten's front line, pushing perhaps into his base. They might try and go for the eyes too. That's going to be a bold move here by Luvnest. And there you go, eyes 2 shoots, gets a good hit in the Panther. The lead one, the veteran one. Shot penetrated, but shot from the Panther bounced off the eyes 2. Gets a penetration hit there, and another hit misses the Panther. Eyes 2 down to half health. Vonasten here going for the H-85. Panthers into the basic command tank. Follow up here for Luvnest. Shots fired at the Panther. Both Panther shots bounce off the Eyes 2, but T-35 gets through the Panther's armor. Another series of hits. He's going to have to fall back with the Panther. I think he's pushing his luck here. Luvnest might, I think, be getting too bullish. Need to fall back, and there goes ramming. He gets it with the Eyes 2. The T-35 doesn't even have ram. Oh dear, Luvnest here, I think, has pushed his luck too far. Now his Panther stuck behind enemy lines with no support. He should have pulled back faster here. This is definitely a miscalculation by Luvnest. Doesn't have anything else to catch up by the way. He's gone for a command tank. I mean, he can't even call in a replacement Panther if he needs to. Eyes 2 rolls ahead here. Gets a Panther hit, and the Panther and the T-35 takes it out. Luvnest Panthers are down, and now Luvnest is in a really bad spot. He's recruited the Pack 40, but there's a T-35 out. There's a vets, both analyzed who both vets need 2. And he's got a command tank, and he's also barely got any infantry. Granted, so does Vonasten. This tank can double as infantry in terms of catching points to this. Plus, it's a tank strat. So right now, if Luvnest calls in any Panthers, they're going to be struggling quite a bit to get sort of back into the match. Plus, he's not got enough fuel because he wasn't thinking ahead. He wasn't building fuel caches using enemies' floating manpower. So right here, Luvnest, I think, has suffered a bit of case of hubris and is right now being delivered nemesis by Vonasten. This is quite a sticky situation here. Luvnest.
We are losing a sector.
The question was it a necessary suicide run here? I mean, if he did it sensibly, I mean, I know I've done that. Particularly since he had most of the map anyways, you'd better off just trying to bait the Eyes 2 and the T-35 and engage with it, and maybe flank them or something with the Panthers. That definitely seemed very insensible there by Luvnest, very insensible. Now going for another Pack 40s, he stalls for a Panther, I imagine. And now Vonasten moves ahead. He's got a Telemine down there, which stops the Eyes 2 for now. Good job there by Luvnest with his mines, and they've got a Pack 40 opening up as well. But the command tank is rapidly falling back, so they got the Pack 40 being overwhelmed. And there's just not enough infantry from Luvnest to sort of stall. He's got a machine gun there being grabbed back. Second Pack 40 arriving. Command Panthers gaining the T-35 attempt to the Pack 40. They're being now flanked here as Vonasten decides not to pursue across the ice and instead just deal with a much easier target. And there you go, Luvnest going for a third Pack 40. You can just see how everything is suddenly falling apart here for Luvnest after tossing away both of his Panthers in this rather foolish attack, and losing eventually 2 Panther, but more importantly also just not ensuring there's any kind of backup plan. Not enough infantry either, and just sort of a lot of things went wrong there for Luvnest. A perfect storm, if you will. Because I mean, he could actually probably survive, at least not suffered such a backlash here, I would say, from the Panther loss. If again, build caches, brought up more infantry, prepared ahead when he actually had, resource advantage. Rather than now, he has to then spend all his resources, to plug the gaps he created thanks to losing the Panthers and not destroying a single one of Vonasten's tanks. Because all of a sudden all his manpower is just going to Pack 40s, which, he's also losing a bunch of to Vonasten and also replacing his infantry. Getting the T-35 over there by the Pack 40, but is it going to be enough? Who knows? Down to 95 victory points here for Vonasten. So I mean, we him down that far. So once more you sort of have to wonder: was it really necessary to charge in those Panthers there? I mean, he can still win this, I guess. I mean, he still has potential for more Panthers. He's still got a lot of stuff. He's still got a map. But, I mean, that was a pretty big throw there. I mean, now his opponent again has got virtually two half ATAV, actually 3 tanks. Again, one of them is an IS-2. And he can actually follow up with more tanks. In this case, a T-34 76. So they could go for theoretically another 85. So the situation here for Luvnest got very challenging in a series of rather unfortunate steps, or events if you will. But there you go. Now the Panther for Luvnest and the Gross Deutschland, of course, he's not giving up. He is fighting for Germany. Endsieg. So Panther there slowly approaching. IS-2 hammering away with his 122mm gun. Could do some repairs. Shattering buildings. To deny cover for Luvnest. Come out and he's losing half the squad in a single shot from the IS-2. Another hit in the command tank. Mortar fire raining down. Panther almost done there for Luvnest. Up north we got more chances to push ahead here, and up far north we got a T-55 there ready to deal with any pioneers pushing their noses a bit places where they don't belong. T-55 6 sitting out, and there you go. Panther number 3 arriving for Luvnest. They're rather bunched up. We've got a counter barrage here from Vonasten's Katyusha barrage to try and take out here Luvnest mortars. He's moving up the command tank just to help with the defense walls, so the AoE, if they just don't particularly hit, will not necessarily wipe them. But also he does have to retreat, and there you go. I think he gets both of them out. Up north, Pioneer's wiped. Panther moving ahead there. Should probably keep the command tank. Yep. Then again, that leaves the pack forwards in the centre also exposed. Like, Luvnest's situations are a bit weak and awkward, in part because, again, he's lacking infantry a lot. Almost got the 85 there. IS-2 runs into the Panthers. Shot bounces. Pack 40 setting up here. Penetrating hit in the IS-2, but gets a return hit there as well. Shed collapses. Command tank moving up. He deal with units protecting the Pack 40. In the centre, Pioneers moving in straight, just to be mowed down here by a Russian MD-42 crew. And there you go, T-54 north taking hits from the Panther, and the Pack possibly gets away though with a sliver of health. Luvnest Panther is rapidly approaching. Veterans who won there. IS-2 there. Oh dear, looks like he realised he must be up to the ice. They could have lost it to a straight Panther shot or anything like that. That was, I think, the right decision, because if they had been caught, that would have been a great match. But then again, he's moving up the T-55 on the ice. Gets it off though, gets it off. Good. But he also managed to do a stupid close air support run, so in theory he could catch them here in the right spot. He could possibly do some serious damage. And he's went from the front. He's Panther fasting, I think. There we go, call it in then. Is he? No? No? There we go. Air support called in. And I think in reasonably good position. There's Stuttgart moving in there. Kanonenvogel. The Luftwaffe strikes. He should focus here. The SU-5 will get the Pack 4 dealing with it. Misses. Misses. IS-2 almost taken out there. Panther almost taken out as well. They go. SU-5 down. Panther needs to pull back. He's ramming it. The Pack's coming out there right in the nick of time. Pop smoke. IS-2 left behind. A possibly big reversal here. Oh, he's moving the Panther into the rocket. Shot bounces. Oh god, the Panther almost went down there. He can't see the IS-2, so he can't focus down. He could move in the command tank to spot for the aircraft, but he doesn't do it. Oh no, they spotted it somehow and took out Vonasten's IS-2. Need to fix up the Panther ASAP. He's still short on infantry though. And there you go, got the T-54 moving in here through his lines. Avoiding all anti-tank weapons, I guess. No, they're back in the base as well. I think he's going to go for the hunt there. Oh dear, Pack 40 setting up. Target weak point at the right time. Gets the Pack 40. Oh dear, T-54 got in a bad spot there. Half health. Grabbing the centre victory point. Another T-54, this time 85 out here for Vonasten. Panther being worked hard on here for Luvnest. And another T-55 rush there for Vonasten. This has been a crazy fight. There's some, at times, crazy reversals going on there for both sides. Neither side's knocked up, but with that move there with the air support knocking out most of Vonasten's armor there, he actually managed to get back because it was looking pretty bleak, but that sort of assault there sort of turned things around. At least I think sufficient enough for him to maybe just find a chance again. Holy smokes. More pioneers for Luvnest to help repair his tanks. He's still not going for infantry though. He's still just relying mostly on pioneers. I really think you should at least go for some panzer grenadiers. Mortar firing down the country in the centre. We've got the T-34 being sent eastwards. Vonasten's just running back to all the points, going for another field gun. Infantry taking losses there from Luvnest Granatenwerfer. Battery. Seeing the Panther up on its own without machine gun, by the way. To deal with an infantry squad, that feels a bit like the wrong prioritization. They're fixing up the command Panther here. You could maybe consider using some reconnaissance overflight just to gain an idea of how Vonasten's forces position to maybe try and launch an attack to somehow reduce some of the forces more easily and gain maybe sort of more direct advantage. But he definitely needs to get back the victory point because he doesn't have a lot more to give off against Vonasten there. Now the question, he's going to go for another Panther, he's going to go for Sturmpanzer. But all the tanks that Vonasten's now just pushing out, another Panther would probably be helpful. Though he really needs Panzer Grenadiers. Mine goes off, T-34-85, they're hit. Oh dear. Does Luvnest realise it? Can he set in there? Mines going down the hill by Vonasten as well. No minesweeper for Luvnest. He's lost all his minesweeper crews. Oh dear. T-34 trying to get behind the house. We've got the Panther moving ahead. Command taking up support. T-35 is spotting by the Panther. Or should be spotted anyways. There we go. Command taking up, drawing a lot of fire from the machine gun. Both miss each other or fail to penetrate. Need to cover the Panther. Got the sister sitting on the ice. There we go. Penetrating hit on the Panther. Need to pull back in. Oh, he's pushing ahead. He's pushing ahead with the Panther. Oh, there we go. Pop smoke. Pulls back to the Pioneers. Hiding behind. In the south bit of light harassment here. T-34-6 guarding the eastern victory point for Vonasten. And the 10th Mechanized Corps. I think Luvnest is setting up for a second Panther here. And there you go, Katyusha Fire going to try and take out the Pioneers, repaying the Panther. I bet that was some pretty good instinct there, I think, by Vonasten. In the south, Pioneers pushed back with the T-34-76. More conscripts on there for Vonasten. He's quickly filling out his infantry losses. Good. Whereas Luvnest, he's flooding a bit much. I mean, again, I can see it with the second Panther, but even then, I think a Panzer Grenadier squad, just at least some more Grenadiers here and there, would have done a lot for him. T-34 up north being repaired. Grenadiers in the fire from Maxim, moving in the command tank support. Pack 4 is moving in, Panther rolling back for repairs. Pack 4 is coming up there against the T-34-6. Getting a few hits. The centre victory point secured here. We got something going in the northern one. That's an MG-42 here for Luvnest. Need to get the Pioneers out to fix that Panther. All of them. And he can go there for another Panther. That's, I think, going to be his 4th Panther. There's a lot of Panthers in a 1 versus 1. No, he's going for a Sturmpanzer here. He's going for a Sturmpanzer. He wants to help deal with some of the infantry support with Panier. And he's going to just run a single Panther for this. Bit risky there by Luvnest, but could work out as long as he doesn't have anything to do with the Panther. They really should go for some more infantry. I really can't emphasize that enough. Panther fixed up, pin light machine gun being added, T-35 covering up an infantry advance up north. Sturmpanzer almost done here for Luvnest. He could consider Panzerwerfer, I guess, to help deal with some of these support weapons. T-35 moving northwards, going to support the squad. Let's push for the northern victory points. Going to eat the Panther up. There's Sturmpanzer arriving here for Luvnest. That is the second one. Pushing ahead, we've got the infantry coming. It's going to need armor support. Schnell, Luvnest, schnell. Command tank almost good to go, but he's going to need to retreat the MD-42 there. Now he's going to push this. Got the field gun there. Oh, he got recruit, but still he should be able to clear it out with a bit more mortar fire. If they're still barraging, or he can just move up the Sturmpanzer to deal with it. There we go, field gun wipe. It's probably going to destroy it here with the packs and whatnot. Incendiary fire, machine gun fire going up here. Down to 96 versus 61 here from Vonasten. There you go, machine crew pushed away. Field gun destroyed. Another HQ5 from Vonasten and the 10th Tank Corps. In the far south, gun is pushing back the country squad there. He's still down to just one infantry squad. He's still flooding manpower. Though it's almost like a full pop cap as well, so I don't think he can actually go for anything now. But he needs to grab more victory points. He needs to grab it fast. Solidify here in the Pioneers in the centre victory point. But he's grabbing it unless he's entering a neutral. 73 versus 61 here. Pioneers about to get wiped out. Scheiße. Going into the Panther. He's risking it. He wants that Katyusha dead. But he doesn't know what it is. He's blitzing. Oh, takes a hit here from the T-54 from 6. He gets it. Victory 2 on the Panther. Damage engine, no anti-tank grenade pack 40 up. Needs to get the command tank in as well here to have a chance, I think. Oh, these explosions will be into the T-54 from 6. Oh, that might actually be a weird thing that's going on at the moment. I mean, on occasion when you reverse order them to move there, for some reason they'll just turn on the spot and try to move ahead frontally anyways. That's cost me a lot of tanks personally, so I'm imagining that's what actually happened there for Luvnest. Like, you order it to reverse move, and for some reason it just begins turning on the spot instead. Like, they have a weird tendency of doing that after the patch. (46 versus 61). Quite costly attack there to get the Katyusha. They did get a T-34 from 6. And the 85 is not a bit out of commission for some while, but still he needs more infantry. More infantry, Luvnest. Almost got a full wipe there. Almost firing at the countries here with the Sturmpanzer. Towards reinforcing healing. Just more pack 40s for Luvnest at this stage. And no infantry. Heading for the centre victory points. Going to need the Sturmpanzer, the command tank, and everything else he's got on it. 39 versus 61. Direct hit in the command tank by the HD5. Packs being blasted by the machine gun. Mortar fire there also being slightly curtailed by suppressive firepower. Maximum almost on, but still got the counter. They're firing at the HD5. Command tank gaining victory 2. Machine gun pushed back. He's leaving on the counter squad, clearing out one of the pack 40s already. Counter down to half size. Almost getting the centre victory point. 39 versus 61. Moving up a pack 40 there to grab Sturmpanzer. Oh, takes a hit from the issue. The other pack 40 setting up to fire back maybe. T-55, good to go here. Machine gun versus machine gun. He light machine gun drop there, I think. Oh, he lost his remaining grenadier squad. Luvnest has no infantry left now. Laying down S-man to get the northern victory point. He needs to spend that manpower on infantry and pioneers. Schnell, Luvnest. (54 versus 39). This is going to be a close one, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, he ran his Sturmpanzer straight past the HD5. More pack 40s for Luvnest. Not more infantry, more pack 40s. You can just recruit that one instead. He's not even getting more pioneers either. Troops taking a direct push against the victory point, straight into the command, takes jump out of pack 40, moving about to deal with flanking attempts. Other pack 40 moving in. Damage engine, Atacars, Pandemonium, mortars firing as well. Command tank goes down the T-55, flanks past it. Units getting united here by the Sturmpanzers and the mortars. Pack 40 saying about to try and deal with it, but there's just too much going on here. No infantry to slow down the tanks or anything. I can just recruit the anti-tank as needed. Country squad wiped here. HD5 down, but the pack 40 got wiped. Now the Sturmpanzer versus Vets need 2 T-35. 3 pack 40s abandoned in the centre. Up north here, troops pushing through the S-mine fields, not caring about their losses. Troops reinforcing. More pack 40s moving ahead here. I suppose could panic, calling another command tank, but it's not going to help. We might aim for another Panther, I suppose. Got the northern victory point, then retreats, pop smoke. 38 versus 41. There we go. Got the Sturmpanzer with the T-35 going for the centre victory point. Panther on the way for Luvnest. Still no infantry. Both sides have been battered and bruised. They've been at almost full pop cap, and now they're down to barely anything. They got 30 pop each. This has been an absolute, I don't know, stonk of a fight. Contras only getting obliterated here by the double mortars. Pack 40 being pushed ahead. Panther almost done. Luvnest, you just go for some grenadiers. Just some grenadiers, Luvnest. (31 versus 36). So there you go. Fourth. Oh, that's actually the fifth Panther, I think. More pioneers, but problem is again, Vonasten's got plenty of it, he can just push ahead with, whereas again Luvnest lacks it. And then this is probably, you know, where if anyone wins, if Vonasten wins, it's gonna, I think, just basically boil down to the infantry he actually got, whereas again Luvnest never got more than 2 grenadier squads. Vonasten then was clearly much more willing to replace infantry losses, and there you go, GG, well played. GG, well played. An absolute crazy fight here. 1 hour long. In fact, just over an hour long between Luvnest and Vonasten. Heavy casualties on both sides. Like, yeah, about roughly 550 dead. And that's not counting tank crews. Which there's anyway a few losses on both sides. In particular, Luvnest lost numerous Panthers here in this brutal slug out on Semoisky Winter. It was close many times. Luvnest really though made a mistake here with the double Panthers being tossed away like this. Had he not done that, he'd been in a much stronger position to win. But also just the lack of infantry. That I think was the big strategic issue the game went on for Luvnest. He lacked infantry. He couldn't really fight Vonasten's infantry. Couldn't protect his anti-tank. Well, he couldn't threaten Vonasten's support weapons. So that really gave Vonasten, as the game went on, a certain advantage, just allowing you to keep pushing it against Luvnest, who increasingly struggled to hold the line. So I think those were some of the sort of larger issues there for the game between Luvnest and Vonasten. He could also maybe benefit him with some tactical movements or some air recons or something there. So, but still, there were some rather, would say, spectacular moments, including also the assault here that took out the IS-2 in the end. They're using air support. Like some good old movement here, some good attacks, some good maneuver here from both players. So I would say over an excellent match. Amazing match in here between 2 excellent players right here on Semoisky Winter, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. And if you'd like me to do consider donating or pledging on Patreon. Links in the video description. You can also find a link to where you can send or replace an email address specifically. So thank you all, and see you all tomorrow for another signing episode. This is Implementing Cheers, and thank you all for watching. Bye.